Hello everyone, welcome to Set Free's YouTube channel. I'm Gökçe Beyazanlırak, Set Free Virginia representative. I'll be the moderator of today's panel. Before we start our panel, I want to talk about Set Free briefly for people who's first time with us. Set Free is a civil initiative founded in 2017 to stand up for the rights of the imprisoned women and children victims of Turkey. Set Free organizes events under two areas: human rights advocacy to raise awareness about imprisoned women and children, and social empowerment projects to assist refugee women and children for their better integration into the host countries. Under social empowerment projects, Set Free provides language courses and psychological support series. With volunteer teachers, we have online English and German classes for women and children refugees in Greece. Set Free also annually participates at the UN Commission on the Studies of Women by organizing side events in the collaboration with other NGOs. Set Free also organizes online discussion and panels like today. Well, today's topic is the International Day of the Girl Child. Every year on October 11th, UNICEF launches an annual campaign with girls to amplify their voices and stand up for their rights. This year, under the theme, My Voice, Our Equal Future, adolescent girls worldwide assert their power as changemakers. In this regard, I have three young and successful speakers, Tuana, Nilüfer, and Esra. We are going to talk about their life, career, and projects. First, I want to introduce my speakers. Tuana is 19 years old. She came to the US 4 years ago. She owns a social platform and podcast where she co-hosts and talks about different topics. She published articles and interviews about the hate crime. She currently works as a PR student admission manager in an IT company. Nilüfer is 16 years old, living in California. She is a junior in Mountain View High School. She moved to the States 2 years ago. She plays soccer, tennis, and basketball. She loves coding and chess. She achieved great success in chess also. She is really talented in music. She plays the violin since first grade, and recently she started to learn guitar. And our youngest speaker is Esra. She is 13 and goes 7th grade. She's been in Greece for 3 years. She learned English and Greek, and she can speak both languages fluently. She is really good at math, and she has great achievements. She is a really bookworm. Also, she loves drawing, and she also plays guitar. Well, welcome guys again. Nilüfer, I want to start with you. You're a newcomer to US. As a young immigrant, can you tell us about your experience so far?
Yes, well, I came here 2 years ago, and I had a quiet experience coming here. My dad was in United States. He came here like a week ago before the coup, but we were in Turkey. Even though we had the passport and visa, we didn't oversee what was coming. So we had to stay in Turkey for 2 years to get our passport back. And eventually we did. And I came here, and I can say that I adapted pretty quickly. And, I started playing chess here, and then, getting ready for the university. I talked to my mentors. I had really good mentors here, and they helped me a lot to, adapt here. And I started taking like AP classes and stuff, and I started like being social in school to like learn English and that stuff. And yeah, I came here, and I'm a refugee girl in the United States.
Yeah, it's really nice to see you. You already adapted. I mean, you already used to be in here. And I have another speaker, Esra. You also had a challenging experience during your journey to Greece. I mean, you are living in Greece now with your family. Do you want to share your experience?
Yes, sure. In Turkey, my mom said that we will go to Greece. My sister and I didn't understand what was happening. Firstly, we came to an island of Greece by a small boat from the agency, and then we came to Athens on October of 2017. We couldn't bring any of our belongings with us. Especially, I was very upset about my poem notebook because I lost it during the journey. In Athens, we had difficult days because we didn't know the country, people, and the language. In the first 3 months, we stayed 2 families in an apartment. Then we moved to another apartment. Finally, we got used to Athens in time.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's really heartbreaking to hear that you have to face with those challenges, difficulties, but it's also really inspirational for me, for us, when we think your achievements, even if you go to, you have to take the, the tough, the difficult path. Well, my next question is for three of you. What is your definition of success and happiness? Tuana?
Hi everyone. First of all, I'm Tuana and I'm really excited to be a part of this amazing project here with you guys. So they were like, you guys were, I mean, I can't even describe how to word the things that you guys just described, the stories you told, and they were quite a story. And I'm so sorry that you guys to go through that. But again, like seeing how amazing you became and how you're active in many, many aspects of both academic and social life, it just shows that you're, I mean, it's amazing. I can't really word it. And Nilfer, you should really teach me how to play chess because I'm like really interested in it. And that was like great to hear that. So for me, success is, I think success, you can describe success. I would say success is something that you can achieve with the opportunities you have, using these opportunities. It doesn't have to be something, you have to go long lengths with, if it makes sense. I feel like it's something that, you can literally achieve using the opportunities that the setting gives you, literally. So that's my definition of success. It's different for everyone. Apparently, it's different for, it again depends on your age and depends on your setting, but it's really something that you can achieve using the best that you have.
So what about happiness? I mean, do you think these two are related to each other? I mean, of course it's related. I mean, when you achieve something, you feel happy and, but is that necessary to be successful for being happy?
I mean, of course, I feel like they're, parallel, but also like it depends on what you want in life because some people really want to be successful, but some people do not necessarily, think about success as being happy. You can absolutely be like not successful academically because like success is like it's in every aspect of life. You can be a really good like person and that will be a really good success. I think it's the best success. Or you can be really good academically and that will be a different success. I mean, for me, of course, they're parallel because as I feel like I'm succeeding in something, whether it's like academic life or like my personal life, I'm feeling happy. But I can't say this like for everyone else. But for me, yes, they're definitely parallel, and I feel happiness as I like feel I am succeeding in something.
Yeah. So Anna, you have some initiative to help other people. You are helping them to be successful. And do you want to tell about your project?
Yes, sure. Okay. So let me just quickly think from the beginning. So just to give a quick background, I came to the US when I finished 8th grade and I started high school here. So right now I'm in my gap year. So for those who are thinking, are you in university? I'm not. I took a gap year. And that was actually quite good because of the COVID also. Like it was very fortunate for me. So when I first came, I went to a public school and I was really interested in like social projects back in Turkey too. And I was trying my best to be a part of like certain projects. But then when I came here, I created like a club with my friends. So I was like the president of the club. It was like Middle Eastern and cultures. It was in a public school. Then at 15, I changed schools and I started my first nonprofit organization, which aims to stop the hate crimes in the US. So what we did is I was mostly in the like public relations part. I was mostly like organizing events, reaching out to people. So what I did with that foundation is we reached out to like political, not many political, but political religious leaders in society and also like activists. We organized anti-bullying campaigns, which was also another kind of project under that nonprofit. We organized like anti-bullying events and we ran it in middle schools and high schools because bullying is a very, very big problem in the US. If you guys are like aware of it, it's a very big problem and many school shootings were happening. Actually, one of the biggest ones happened like after 2 years I came to the US. Maybe you heard of it, February 14th. And again, it gave us, I don't want to say inspiration, but we really wanted to be focused on that. So we came together with different groups, whether it's like religious or whether it's, more community groups. And we ran these campaigns. We also use it as a social platform. We have like youth guests, which they come and write basically their experiences. They talk about their experiences or they write articles. So that was something I launched when I was 15. So it's been like 3-4 years. And after that, I started working on different projects, like kind of related to that. I made 3 short movies, again, regarding social, also environmental, climate change issues and anti-bullying. And I got certifications in bullying prevention and then adverse childhood experiences, human trafficking, crisis management. And right now I volunteer as a crisis counselor and crisis text line. And after that, I also launched a couple of projects on like international projects. I launched a project regarding a Turkish prisoner who was in prison unlawfully for 33 years in Turkey. So we partnered up with global organizations, lawyers from different countries, nonprofits in Turkey, and we tried to get the justice for him, and we also raised funds. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm mostly focused on creating one more nonprofit. It's actually aims to raise funds for minority women who want to shift to STEM field or who want to change their careers, who want to start in STEM fields. So that's what I'm focused on these days, and I'm working right now full time as a PR manager in an IT company. So it's been very busy for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm being full time. It's really nice to hear that like you were a high school student until like April, right? You just
Yeah, I
graduated
kind of
from.
finished early. I homeschooled myself. That's the thing. Like, it's really complex.
Oh.
Yeah, I switched to an
Well,
online private high school. I homeschooled myself, so I finished early.
yeah, it's wow. Okay, it's nice. It's really, as I said before, it's really nice to see a young person like you. I mean, high school student, you and your friend probably they care the they care the topics like bullying, climate change, and other stuff. It's really nice you see that like put an effort on that. Well, Nilüfer, what is your definition for success and happiness?
I think I totally agree with Swana. I think the definition of success is that when I set my goal, and then if I'm achieving that goal, or in the way of achieving that goal, I'm achieving like little steps. I say it's success for me. And for happiness, if I'm with my family, my friends, And if I'm doing my hobbies, I'm playing chess or like playing music, even though like listening music, I would say that it's happiness. And then I agree. I agree with Tuana what she said about like succeed is like being a part of happiness. I also agree with that too. Yeah.
Yeah, you are right. Like you said, if I'm with my family, it's happiness for me. So I have a refugee background also. I have an immigrant background. So in 3 years, I guess my happiness definition is changed. Like before that, when I was in Turkey, I feel like, okay, I have to be successful to be happy. I have to achieve something. I have to, I have to be the best or something like that. But when I came here and I realized, okay, Gökçe, happiness is not about being, the best or being the successful for in academic field. And yeah, it's kind of late for me to realize that if I'm comparing with you myself, but yeah, it's really true, your definition of happiness. Well, while talking about the success, you study science Olympiads. And I want to ask, which field do you study? And also, could you explain for us what is science Olympiads?
Yeah, sure. So I'm currently studying on math and coding at the same time. And in the United States, there's USAMO and then USACO. USACO is United States of America Coding Olympiad, and then USAMO is Mathematics Olympiad. So there are like steps achieving that, USACO step and then USAMO step. But for USACO, there are levels, basically. There are bronze, silver, gold, and then platinum. And now after platinum, you're basically going for the camp to get ready for the international Olympiads. And yeah, they're basically hiring you to like attend the camp. And then 5 people in the camp just like getting selected for the international Olympiad. And then they're like showing their performance on the international Olympiad. And then for the mathematics, they're like basically 3 or 4 steps going through that. And first of all, it's AMC. Most of the schools give AMC for free or like for $5 in public schools. I'm not sure about private schools. It's basically the contest. And, it's like 25 questions and there's like a barrage for you to come through. And then if you can like pass the barrage and then like you're in the next step, they're hiring you for the AME. And then AME is the second step basically. And then it's basically the same thing, just a harder one, harder than the AMC. And then after AME, you're going to USAMA, I'm sorry. And in USAMA, you're just like solving math problems and stuff on your own. And then after USAMA, there's still like selecting 3 or 4 or 5 people. I'm not sure about the number. But yeah, after that, you're going to International Olympiad if you're selected, and then still you're showing your performance in another country against another people. And if you're like successful in there, you're getting either gold, bronze, or silver medal, basically.
It's studying Olympiads. It's really nice. I really appreciate your effort, but it's really also difficult. I had experienced Olympiads in Turkey. I studied biology, but I studied for just 1 year. That was really hard. I mean, how did you decide to study for Olympiads, and who leads you to this field?
Yeah, as you said, it's really hard, and it's really like mentally, it's really hard, and like you feel tired, and yeah. It was my dad actually. He was in Turkey. He went to Izmir Fen High School,
Oh,
and
it's really nice school. Yeah.
and he had like friends back in that time doing Olympiads, and then they all succeeded. They all got like golden medal in the international Olympiad. So I was like really impressed by that. And then my dad told me, you should do it. You can do it. You have the potential. You can do it if you study hard. And then I said, well, okay, I'll try. And he was also a computer engineer, software engineer. So that's how I met with coding, basically, by him. He showed me the basic steps. You're doing that and that. You're writing the print ln and stuff. And I was like, wow, it's interesting and, fun, I guess. So I started like working on both fields, and he helped me a lot with the coding one, actually. But by math, my math is good in Turkey. And I was like, even in the team, like in the math team, is like our public schools math team. You were going to the contest and then doing math problems and stuff. Yeah, I've selected. So I thought like, my math is fine. I can do it. And then I took the AMC test here. Well, it was pretty hard, but not like the math part is hard, but like the English part is pretty confusing actually. If you're like not a native, it's hard to get through it. You have to be really good at English basically, and you have to understand the questions. And yeah, basically he forced me through it a little bit, and eventually I started like studying pretty hard. And I remember the nights I cried because of like the one, come on, like I've forgotten the coding part. It's like, it's good, but like it makes you feel proud, and you're doing something. So even though you're tired of it, or like it's so hard, you're achieving something. And then like the universities know that you're doing it, so eventually you'll become like successful in that field. I mean, even though you can't get into the best university, or like let's say UCs, you can't get one of the UCs, but you did computer Olympiad, you will definitely be successful in the future in your job, basically, because you're preparing yourself in high school, for that job, basically. And then, yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, you're right. If you study Olympiads, eventually, even if you don't get it like medals, eventually you're gonna be successful, because it teaches you, it learns you to study discipline, because it's hard. You have to study, I mean, real study. And in the future, you become, yourself, how to study, and it brings you, success in academic life.
Yeah, and
So
also,
thank you. Go ahead.
I also add something about girls. If you're a girl doing math or science Olympiad, no, not the science, but coding Olympiad, you're one step ahead of boys, basically, because like in STEM, they're not like girls, basically, and and if you're a girl, eventually in coding, if you're a girl doing coding Olympiad, you're like far ahead of the other people, basically, because I had friends from the contest, and then they were all boys, basically. I was the only girl, and then in platinum level, the third or fourth level of the USECO, they're in girls. So if you achieve the platinum one, you'll definitely be in the top university. That's the fact. That's what everyone says. So being a girl is an advantage, I say.
Yeah. Hashtag girl. Well, I have another math genius, I want to say. Esra, as a successful girl, first I want to answer you to this question. What is your definition of success and happiness?
Success, I think success is making my dreams come true. And when I achieve success, I get happy. And also for me, it's the happiness to be free, to be healthy, and to be with our family.
Okay, that's nice. You have remarkable success in academic life. You also attended the Math Olympiad, right, in Greece. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering how was the preparation phase because you took this exam in Greek language. So how did you manage the language problem? And math is math. It's already hard. So could you tell us how was the preparation phase?
I attended this Math Olympiad 5 months ago. I prepared only 1 month with a math teacher. I was studying twice a week with my teacher, and mostly I was studying at home. The preparation time was too short, and this made a challenge, but in the end it paid off. I did a good score and I took a certificate.
Well, I mentioned before this exam was in Greek language, and
Yes.
your Greek is fluent. I mean, in 3 years, you did a great job. You learned English and Greek, and you're really good at them. So, how was your experience with learning a new language? Especially Greek is, it's a new culture, new people. And do you enjoy learning about these cultures and languages?
When we first came to Greece, Greek language was very difficult for me because Greek alphabet is very different from Turkish alphabet. I started courses to learn Greek. First, I learned the letters and everyday expressions. Then I started to go to school. In the beginning, I didn't understand school lessons and my friends. After a couple of months, it got familiar to me and started to chat with my friends, and I started to understand my lessons. Now I can speak and understand Greek. Um, I like to learn new languages and cultures. At my school, I learn French and English. In Greek culture, about Greek culture, there are many special foods, days, festivals, and kinds of dances. Especially, I like souvlaki, that's a kind of doner, and I like the festivals and dances of Greek culture.
Okay, that's cool. You said you are learning French now, right, in school.
Yes.
So which one is harder, French or Greek?
I don't know a lot French, but I learn.
You will learn. Okay.
Yes.
So, guys, thanks for your answers. And society has a negative expression on like a girl, but you girls are approved that actually like a girl means doing a great job. So I want to ask, what do you do like a girl? Tuana, do you want to go first?
Okay, that's a great question, actually, and it's been a hot topic for like last 5, 6 years. We've seen a very big change in like everything. Like I'm in really like PR side, so I realize a lot. Like advertisements has like they have changed a lot from how we like perceived girls, and then right now it's been a big change in the last like 5, 6 years. So definitely I feel like I see a huge positive change. You probably see that too, but I feel like we still have a long way because it's not just like being a part of the change. It doesn't just mean, like talking about it, like saying, oh, we really have to be a part of this change. It doesn't mean that. We really have to put effort into it. And if you look at the history, if you see how the, you know, political or like social, let's say, projects like took over, we've seen a lot of like hard work. So it's not just like being a part of change by like talking about it. It's actually being a actively part of the change. So doing something to change the environment, and it's not just in like social sides of things. It's everywhere, as Nilüfer like mentioned, literally. And I want to really talk about like coding more with her, because I'm also like interested in coding. But we've seen a ratio like changed maybe just 2% in the last 20 years in software. Like STEM, I would say there's like 50-50 ratio almost, like engineering, everything. But like software, it's only 16%. It was like 16% last year. 2019 statistics, I think it's like 16%, just only 16% women, which is like crazy. And when we like think about this, we think it's just, just like women are not interested in it, but it's not. I actually like wrote like maybe 3 articles about it. It's everything. You're seeing a ratio, but it's not just ratio. It's the workplace. It's the workplace environment. It's everything. For example, just to give an example, like I believe it was like 2016, Microsoft like threw a party. It was their like annual party, and they were like female dancers. Literally, this is a software company that's known. It's very popular. It's one of the most popular like software companies, computer companies in the world, and they throw a party to celebrate something. There are also like female workers, and they literally invite female dancers. This was a like shock, and many people criticized it. But I want to like also mention this. It's not just the education ratio. It's not just university ratio. It's also the workplace. Because if you go somewhere and if you don't feel comfortable with that environment, you're not going to want to work there. If there is, abuse, if there is different things that are like mostly under the carpet, you're not going to want to work there. So we really have to talk about it. First of all, we have to write about it. We have to observe, and we have to not be silent. We shouldn't ignore anything. So I think that's how you're actively being a part of the change. So for me, doing something as a girl, it's the same as doing something as a boy. But if we are talking about like the equal aspects of things, I feel like me personally, as a woman, I have to put more effort, and I have to also take more responsibility. Just looking at the things, because I feel like I don't have time, or I don't have like I shouldn't be lazy in any aspects, or I shouldn't just sit. Because if a man, let's say, is taking a break, and if they're doing, if they're not doing something, if they're taking a break, that would be acceptable. But when a woman does that, the ratio is still not like equal. So it's a harder hit, I would say. So for me to just briefly answer the question, I do everything as a girl. But like if it means like feminine, no, I don't do that. But I believe I do everything as a girl.
That was a nice answer. And you said you have to put extra effort to receive this same level with the boys, unfortunately. But we have game changers like you girls. I hope like in a few years that's gonna change. Tuana, you have a blog, and you said we have to do something. We have to talk about it. And you have a blog. You are sharing your ideas, and you are sharing your opinion about the different topics. Also, you write the reviews about the books that you read. Literature was under the male domination in past years. And, but after the feminist movement, women authors started to show up. I'm wondering, who's your favorite female author?
So my favorite author, I wouldn't say a part of like feminism movement, but you probably heard of her. Her name is Helen Keller, and there's many movies. There's many books about her, and she already has 12 books by. One of them is autobiography, and it's called The Story of My Life. It's a very popular work, and she was basically she suffered an illness when she was around, like, I believe 19 months old, and she was left deaf, blind, and apparently after some time she was also muted. So she couldn't see, she couldn't hear, And when you're like under 2 years old, like that's really hard to learn at that point of life when you're deaf, when you cannot hear, when you cannot see, when you cannot do anything. But she was a very inspirational figure. She learned how to talk. She learned everything. She learned the basically words by touching it. She had a great teacher. Actually, I wanted to mention her name, but I forgot. She was a great mentor, and she was the first person to earn a bachelor's degree as a blind and deaf person. And she went to a university, and actually her book, she's talking about it, her autobiography, it's really short, and I really advise everyone to read it. And it was still hard to get into a university as a woman. Just being a woman, that was it. That was really hard by itself. But she was also deaf. She was muted. She was blind. But she got into a university. She was very successful. As I said, she wrote like 12 books. She also won the presidential medal. And she was an activist. She was also a political figure. So that's very inspirational for me, because if you just look at her, sometimes like we tend to feel like in life, we tend to feel everything is against us, especially like just hearing like everyone talking about their bad experiences. Like these are really huge traumas. Maybe we don't realize it as we, go through them. But if you look from a normal perspective, it's really hard to endure by themselves. So there is a huge trauma there. But like people like her give me a lot of inspiration, because you, even if you have nothing in life, even if you have nothing in your hands, you still have something. It's yourself, your soul, however you want to describe it, and you can actually be great just using that power. So that's really, I think, inspirational.
Yeah, this is what girls do, right? And Esra, I want to ask the same question. What is your girl power, and what do you do like a girl?
First, I think it's like a girl is a very wrong expression, because girls are so strong and they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like a girl, I draw pictures, I play guitar, and if there is something wrong, I discuss it with people. And I have big dreams and I'm working on them.
Okay, thank you for your answer. That was, you are right. Like a girl means doing everything great and being strong. Nilüfer, you have the same question. What did you like a girl? And besides that, you do a lot of things like a girl. I know you are a chess player, you play violin, you're a genius, a science genius. And besides your academic achievement, you are, as I said before, you are a chess player. Could you tell us about your chess career after your answers?
Yeah, sure. Like Esra and Tuna said, being a girl is just like society's stereotyping the girls kind of thing, And well, I do a lot of things like a girl. First, I play soccer, basically. I want to talk about like my experience of soccer in Turkey. The thing is that you're not a girl, you can't play soccer and stuff. But I played soccer in Turkey. I started playing soccer in Turkey in elementary school and middle school. I played with the boys, and actually they didn't care about like if I'm a girl or a boy. They just played with me. So yeah, that's like what adults say. You are a girl, you can't play soccer thing. But like the little boys don't care about it. You're playing good. You should play with us, kind of thing. And yeah, and I also play guitar. I started learning it recently, so I'm not like good at it at all, but I'm trying to learn. And well, I do coding like a girl, as a girl. Coding is hard. Everyone thinks that, oh, boys are doing mechanical things and then coding thing. It's not true. Girls can do it. And then I know some girls doing it better than boys in my class, and I know it, trust me. And that's a fact that girls can do better than boys, even in science. We had like great science women, and yeah, I'm trying to be basically one of them to prove the world that they're wrong. Girls can be better than boys in some areas. Not, like we're equal basically. And there's not a fact that girls cannot do thing, or like girls cannot do that. They can't do boxing. It's like more like masculinity stuff. Yeah. And about my chess career, I started playing chess in elementary school in Turkey. I had a really good teacher. She was one of the Turkish brain team's founders. So she was a pretty young, and not young, but like she was a pretty inspirational figure. And then she was like very powerful. And she was a girl. Her name was Nilüfer too. And I had a really strong connection with her in elementary school. And then we talked and made a connection through my middle school years. So I started playing chess with her. She taught me basically everything. And so she like prepared me for the tournaments in Turkey. In elementary school, I attended like most of the tournaments. I grew up in Ankara, so I attended most of the tournaments in Ankara. We like had a team in our school, and we mostly attended to the team tournaments. And we even get like the first place in Ankara too. It was pretty proud of. It was really like something to be proud of.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
in middle school, I started more focusing on chess basically. In Turkey, I played chess a lot. Like most of the time, I didn't study, I played chess. And it's also really important for your mental health too, and also for your thinking skills and logic. So I can say that if I'm like good at math, I think it's probably because of chess, because like you're overseeing the movements that coming, and you're like thinking so depth and then stuff. And in eighth grade, I moved to Izmir. Like in seventh and eighth grade, I moved to Denizli and Izmir because of the situation. And Izmir, I like come up with a team in our school. So I said to the principal that I play chess, and there are good chess players in our school actually. And I said we should attend some tournaments in Izmir. We can be pretty successful. And he said, "Well, sure, I trust you, and I know like you can do things and stuff." And I said, "Okay, sure." And then we attended some tournaments in Izmir, and actually we were pretty successful too. And eventually, after meeting like beautiful, like most powerful chess players in Izmir, they were pretty powerful and hard to win against. So I met with the Izmir representative of the brain team. His name was Ozan. And then he said, you play really good. I watched you playing in the tournament. And he said, you should like, I should give you like some lectures about like chess to play good. And then he said that, eventually you'll be in the national team as a young, girl. And I said, okay, well, nice, I'll do that. And then I eventually did, actually, in the summer of 2018, before me coming to the United States. I was getting prepared for the national team. In that summer, I played like chess for like 7 hours in a day, and I had to go to like the other side of the Izmir with the boat, so it was pretty cool too. I had a really nice time. And yeah, I came here. I'm not like regretting it or anything. And here I started a club in my school, sorry. It was a brand new club, chess club in Manu High School, and like I was first like surprised how in United States they don't play chess at all, or like they're not interested in chess, like more like tournament based, and the system is really weird than Turkey. So it took me like a year to adapt that situation, the tournament system in the United States. But now we have a brand new chess club, and we're playing with the students in our school. So, and I'm meeting like new chess players. It's kind of cool too, and like I'm like developing myself more in chess by like playing other people too, and they're pretty good too. Again, some of them like having me like hard times to like beat them, and yeah, eventually now I'm just like not tournament based, but like playing with like friendly games with the students in our school.
You did really good job, and you really received great achievement on chess. And it's really nice. I mean, you open your own club because you couldn't find a club for chess in your school. It's really inspiring. Well, Tuana, I wanna get you back, and you do a lot of things. You write essays. You have a podcast series. We can call you activist, young activist, I guess. And as a young activist, what is your advice for other young people who want to work in that areas like human rights and other stuff?
So my advice would be, or like, are you asking like for just young people who are interested in, just creating a different social environment, or are you asking like just, general advice?
I mean, my general advice is, I think.
Okay, so first of all, I really lost words after listening to Niloufer speak. Literally, I'm like really impressed, and that was amazing. First, I want to like tell that before I move on. And as an advice, I would say just thinking about like how I grew up and what kind of like advices I received and how I made up my mind. I would say I have actually two advices on how to do things and what to do, because it's also important because the world is changing, especially after I made a career change in my mind. I wanted to be a lawyer 100%. I was in social sides of things, but then I was more in IT, and then I started like coding, and then it made me switch to STEM. Now I want to major in software. So, and that was an awareness for me. So I really want to talk about that too. Um, so first of all, how we do things. I think it's really important to, advices are everything. As we grow up, we get a lot of advices, and I got a lot of advices, especially changing countries, changing environments, and I changed like 3 schools, 4 schools, met very, very eccentric people from all these different environments. And I would say this, like we tend to make up our minds when we're like really young, like 13, 12, maybe 10. We have a certain image of what we want to be, but we're not really sure, and we question it throughout our lives, throughout our lives. But I would say if we have a certain image, if we have a certain goal in life, in terms of getting advices, I don't really recommend getting advices and listening to like everyone, because that's one thing they didn't tell me directly. So I was hearing a lot of advices from everyone, and it like later when I was making a decision really mixed up my mind. So what I did was I chose people from like specific fields. So for example, professionally, I had a mentor who's really experienced in education, and he's really experienced in STEM. So I would get advices from him because he knew me better than most of the people. So I trusted him, and whenever I want advice, I get from him. Or let's say I'm doing fencing, like I'm doing fencing and I want to get advice in that aspect. I go to my coach that I trust about my career development or about like feedback in terms of like work, PR. I go to the person who I believe has the most experience and who knows me better. So I really surrounded my circle with people who are really good at things and whom I trust the most, because I feel like it's really important and impacted me for a long time. I was getting a lot of feedbacks from a lot of people, and that's not really good. Especially my advice is this: we're gonna face a lot of like negative things in life. We already did, and we're gonna face more, especially if the world is changing. So we don't really need much more negativity. So I would suggest to surround ourselves with people who give positive feedback. It can be positive criticism, but it should be a positive feedback. You should learn from it. So other than that, don't listen to people who are gonna take you like down, because as my mentor told me one day, people can just give advice based on their own knowledge and experiences. So that's a really critical thing. And what we do, and the aspects of what we do, I would say that really struck me like lately, and I did not really think about its importance before that. The world is changing very, very fast, and a lot of jobs are gonna basically be destroyed if you're not learning the basic skills of the new world, which is coding. So I highly recommend every young girl to have basic coding skills. Like, be a part of STEM. Whatever you do, like learn coding. It sounds very hard, but it's not really hard. There are many, many languages, so you can start with the easy ones. You don't have to compile your code or anything. Just like start with the easy ones. Because even I was making research one day about this. Even lawyers the job is gonna be basically destroyed in a couple of years, because a lot of jobs are going to be taken over by AI. So that's why if you're associated with coding one way or another, you're going to be very lucky, and you can do the things you want to do very, very fast. So that's my advice. Like, associate yourself with coding, even a little bit. That's going to work a lot for you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I'll call you as an activist, and being activist requires a lot of effort because you are standing for something. You are trying to raise awareness about like specific topics. While being young, it's my things. It may, I mean, it is nice, but it is also difficult for being young activists. Well, we adults, I'm considering myself as a young adult, we adults, how can we support youth initiatives? And what do you expect from us?
I think that's a very important question to answer, because as you asked me, like, what kind of like difficulties you faced as a girl, I faced difficulties as a girl, but I faced difficulties more as being a young person. I had to really prove, maybe like if there was someone who was, I don't know, in mid 20s and or like maybe early 30s, the thing that they did, the things I did, it would be so much easier for them. They would just get an approval. But we have a certain image of success, achievement. So I had to really put maybe 5 times extra work to prove that I am eligible for this, for everything, for the projects I did. Because as you're working in nonprofits, you really have to prove yourself. They're putting funds, they're giving money, so they have to trust you. So, and like growing up, taking responsibilities, people who helped me grow were the ones, like adults, who believed in me, and they did not really care about the stereotypes, or professional people usually just care about what you do. So that was like the best thing that happened to me. People who just took me, like who just saw me as the things I did, not just my age or um, basically things like that. So that was a very critical. That was very critical for me. So my advice would be like for adults, considering myself also a young adult, we should always believe. I feel like young people, young girls, and we should give them an opportunity, because I realize a lot like adults have the stigma, they have a stereotype, so they fail to give the opportunity. But if you don't give the opportunity, you're never gonna fail. You're never gonna even know what they're capable of, or like who these people are. So we should always give opportunity, because like what's the worst thing that can happen? Like failure. I mean, failure, it's not a failure if you learn from it. So I feel like I tend to give, now I'm working with like high school students, middle school students. I want to give opportunities, because my mentors who gave me opportunities, I failed maybe 10 times, but 11th time I succeeded. So that's the thing. No one can learn without failure. So my advice for adults would be, always believe in the younger generation and try to be really good mentors, because they need it, we need it, and show them the way, give them a space for failure, growth, and that's going to be like, I feel like it's a responsibility. It's our responsibility as adults to do this, because that's how we can help the younger generation.
Yeah, it might be sounds like cliche, but you guys are our future. So shouldn't have to, we have to be next to you. We shouldn't have to be against you. And adults realize that if we cannot give you the chance to show your ability to tell your thoughts, we won't be able to you won't be able to improve yourself for the future. That was a really nice answer. Thank you, Tona. And Nilüfer, you are also trying to give back to other people, and you are working on a new startup. Could you tell us about your plan for your new project?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm currently working on a free online tutoring platform, basically. And what I'm trying to do is that, we're in the middle of a pandemic, kind of year. And then, we all like going through online school and stuff, in the United States at least. And, teachers are kind of, I don't want to say like old, but like they're old and they're not like integrated with this technology at all. So like, I know they're trying to do their best, but like in some like aspects, they're not like giving us help or anything, or like we're not getting help because of like their like lack of like knowing the technology, the knowledge of technology. Well, and then I thought that, Generation Z is now our generation, and then, we're pretty integrated with the technology. We're everywhere in social media, and then we're like basically now trying to learn by ourselves, in classes and stuff. And so I thought like, there should be a platform to tutor people who needs help on their homework, or on their project, or like if they like have like an idea, they can share their idea with like someone of their like peers, if they're like in the same age group, maybe that would be really helpful. And so, I started programming it. Well, basically, I had the idea first. I was like discussing it with my dad, and then he said, it's a really good idea, but you have to like make it to like for it to become true. And then I said, okay. Well, during the summer, I attended to an entrepreneurship and coding program in California. Well, it was online, of course. But we had like people from Chicago, and then California, and other cities or like states in the United States. And so I said my idea, and then the teacher in that program, he said, we will make the business plan, and then we will like prepare you for the slides, and for you to get like some money to do that thing. So, and then I said, okay, I'll do it. And then I do the project basically. I mean, I do the business plan with the help, of course. And I also do the slides for showing the other people. Well, the platform is not yet ready yet because it needs like some coding skills, but the professional ones. Yeah, and I'm still working on it. I'm trying to like build the web page by myself, but like the not the actual web page, but like to show something that it's there. We have the domain, and it's a web page now. You can like learn more from there, but I need time, and also I need money basically. And then I have another solution for that too, to like not give money to people. I need young coders basically. If you're like interested in code, or like you need something on your resume to show that I'm building that web page or something, you can help me, of course. And like Tuana said, you really have to learn coding. In the world, coding is the only solution, and then only choice you have. I'm sorry, but that's the fact. I live in Silicon Valley, so I know it. Even the people, interested in, language and stuff, they're learning coding too. No, they're saying, well, I live in Silicon Valley. Everyone knows how to code. Now I have to learn how to code too. And there are like basic programming languages that don't require math at all. For example, like HTML, CSS. They're basically just the style of the web page, and then the writing, like the text on the web page. So if you're like not interested in math, you can learn HTML, CSS too. If you're like a visual person, you can learn HTML, CSS too. It's like basically for visual learners and non-visual person, and yeah.
That's really nice. And you see there is a need for the students, and you try to make something for them. And yeah, please let us know when you're done. I mean, when you finish your website and other stuff. And Esra, we listened to Anna and Nilüfer. They did, and they're doing a great stuff. And you're younger of us, and you have a long and bright future in front of you, I hope. And as a refugee girl, what do you want to achieve in your future? And how was being in Greece help you to develop your personal and social skills?
First, being a refugee is not a barrier for me. And I want to study at Oxford University in England. And my uncle lives in England, and I want to go there. In the future, I want to be an architect or a lawyer. In Greece, I started to play guitar, drawing, and writing stories. Sometimes I go skating with my sister and with my friends. I have a lot of friends in Greece. Once a week I meet with them and spend wonderful time all together.
Oxford is really nice school. I hope we can see in there like in, I don't know, 4 years, I think. Oh, well, yeah, in 5 to 6 years. And you said you want to be architecture or lawyer. We really need, world really needs that a brave lawyer and a talented architecture like you. I hope you can get your goals in one day. And well, we are coming to the end. I have one last question for 3 of you. We all have hard times. Yeah, we have great achievements. We have really good times, but life is hard. We always have hard times. What is your motivation to pick yourself up when you feel down? And who is your inspirational figure? Tuana, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So for me, as a crisis counselor, also, so like that training meant a lot for me because like I started getting training certifications like 3 years ago or something in like crisis management, like bullying prevention, suicide prevention, or human trafficking. They were like very critical topics for me. So I started getting training in them, and then I started actually uh, mentoring, if it makes sense. Like I started like volunteering as a counselor. So as a crisis counselor, also like actively volunteer like 10 hours in a week right now, I realize like talking with a lot of people, counseling many people. Before that, I was feeling kind of not shame, but I had a bias against asking for help. So I always felt bad or like weak when I wanted to ask for help, because obviously, like everyone has times when they're down, and I just viewed it as something like weakness, but it's not. So it took me a long time to learn this, and I was always just like trying to get better by myself when I felt down. But then I realized it's actually not a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing, very strong characteristic to ask for help when you need it. So right now, I started asking for help. Like when I felt down, I gave the responsibility to other people who were there to help me, because um, we're social creatures. We need to help each other. That's how the societies are born, as we help each other. So when people around me need help, when I feel it, when I feel like they're down, I get their responsibility. And when they feel like I'm down, either in my, either I had something, a bad experience like in my private life, or anything, maybe I failed in an exam, I failed in something I did, and I'm feeling down, they realize it, apparently, like they're close people, and then they take the responsibility from me. So I literally like learned how to ask for help, which was something challenging for me. And I would say, I mean, other than that, my motivation is just to, I try to do I try to do everything perfect. Like 3 4 years ago, I was a really perfectionist. So if there was something a little wrong with it, a project or something, I was like completely destroying it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do it again. So I spent like months and months on making it perfect. Like I was supposed to write maybe 1 page about the project, I was writing like 14 15 pages to make it perfect. But right now, I'm not perfectionist. So I literally changed my characteristic, my personality. So I'm not like too hard on myself. And that's also an advice that I can give. Nothing is going to be perfect in life. And we're going to reach the goals as we just, go forward. We don't have to do anything perfect. So I learned to give a space for myself and space for people. No one's perfect. And my motivation is just, being in the journey by itself. I'm not looking for the goal. I'm not trying to reach the goal. It's not like keeping me anxious. I love the journey. I love failing. I love experiencing it 100%. I love the negative sides. I love the positive sides, because there's literally no point of, just trying to reach the point. The journey is beautiful as itself. So I'm really just enjoying it. And that's my motivation.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like journey is the main thing is the journey. I mean, how
Exactly.
this is not what you get important. The important is how did you get? I mean, how do you feel during this journey?
Exactly. And one thing I want to mention is like it was a time maybe 6 months ago. I was like I started actively volunteering as a crisis counselor, and I was just trying my best, because you literally get a training for 2 months and then you're left alone with people who are maybe like I cannot get into details, but maybe who are gonna like commit a suicide. And you're left alone with these people, and your only chance is to calm them down, or literally just make them calm, make them think. And it was a very hard time for me. And after 2 weeks, I got a notification. It's anonymous, but then they left me like a letter. I don't know them obviously, but it was saying basically like you helped me save my life by just calming me down. And right now, like I'm at like the person, he she or they were talking about like how they were in a better stage of life, and how they literally had a time to calm down. And just me being there maybe for like 40 minutes meant a lifetime for them. And basically they were thinking it was like very emotional because you're just taking like 40 minutes of your life to help this person, and you're technically like saving that person's life. And it means a lot to be, at a place at a right time. So that was a very like touchy thing I experienced.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thank you for your great answers. Esra, do you want to answer the question? What is your motivation to pick yourself up?
When I feel bad, I listen to music and talk with my mother or one of my friends. And many times I think of people whose situation is worse than us, and I never give up. This is the way of my motivation.
Oh, well, it's really important to know what you like and know you, because when you feel down, you have to do something that makes you feel, up and great. It's really nice to hear that. I love music too. When I feel down, I'm also listening music. And Esa, who is your inspirational figure?
I didn't think about it. I don't know. Yes.
Well, okay. While Nilüfer is answering question, if you have an answer, just let me know. Okay, Nilüfer. Okay, same question. What is your motivation and who is your inspirational figure?
When I'm like feeling down, I usually listen to music, and talking to my mom is also a good thing for me, because like my mom's like my friend, and she's like my best friend, so like I'm able to talk anything with her, and she's always like positive to me. And if I'm like doing something wrong, she like directly tells me that I'm doing that thing wrong, and then she's like giving me opportunities to fix that. She's like showing me ways to fix that, like you can do this or that or that. And also I read book when I'm like feeling down or sad, or like if I'm like failing something. But like Tuana said, if I'm like failing something, let's say during the like Olympiad, during the contest, if I'm like failing something or I did something wrong, I usually try to fix that. And then you're learning from your mistakes. So if you're making a mistake, don't be ashamed of it, or don't like feel like you can't do that thing. Don't give up. It's just a little thing, like a little obstacle achieving, like the way on you're achieving that goal. So you should be always positive to it, and then you have to accept that you made that mistake, and you should try to find ways to fix that, basically. And about my inspirational figure, I would say it's my grandfather.
That's nice.
I lived with him for 2 years in Turkey. So I was in his life, I saw everything he did, basically. And I really like his lifestyle. It's really, it inspired me. And, like now I'm trying to like live like him, basically. And about that, he was very organized and planned person. He planned everything he was doing, like minute to minute. He was like very direct to what he was doing. Let's say it's like his reading hour, he would just like sit and read and nothing, like do nothing else. He was just focused on the thing he was doing. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. And also he was like giving me like all these what do you say, um all these advices, since he was old. Thanks to God he's still alive. And he was one of the first mentors in my life, and I'm still like getting advice from him, by the way. And his academic life was also good. He loved reading, and I basically learned reading books, like real books from him, reading like religious things. I learned most of religious things from him. So he had a like great impact on my life, basically.
That's really nice to have something like him in your life, because when you feel down, you don't have to deal with this alone. I mean, you have people around you, and you have to pick the right person who can help you and find the right person. And for you, it's really cute. It's really, it's your grandfather, because I have a grandfather who was a teacher, and I can say the same thing like you. And he taught me a lot of things, basically.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah, go ahead, please go ahead.
sorry. And also like in Turkey, most of the young people don't agree about like with their grandfather or grandmother. They're saying, oh, they're old, they don't know the new world and stuff. But I totally disagree with that. I mean, my grandfather was like different from most of them, but still they've been through everything, and they've been through what we are feeling right now, like we're like heading through. And so it's really important to listen to them, and getting their advice, listening to them, doing what they're saying. And yeah, I wanted to say that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, girls, so much. While we were talking, we got a lot of comments, and basically, you ladies are brilliant, and you guys are doing amazing jobs, and thanks for all these comments. I'm really appreciate that I get a chance to talk with you guys. I just realized we have a really common thing. We all do, science thing. We are a STEM girl. We love reading, and yeah, it was really nice to meet you, and know you. I think that was very inspirational for young women like you, because they can see that, okay, there's someone like them, and they are doing great jobs. So that means they can these young women can do the same thing if they can hard enough. And for me, listening you two was promising, because I said before, and I know it's cliche, but you are the future, and it makes me hopeful that you're gonna take the lead. And actually, now you are taking the lead, not you are gonna take. And it's really nice to seeing you and knowing you. And you are the change makers, and I'm really excited to see you when you change the world, when you do the great things. And in few years, if I see you in social media when you got the gold medal in science, or Tana when I see you like giving a speech in UN, and I'll say, oh, I know those girls, and I'm proud of them. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, for those who's listening us, that was great to having you all. And for September Free's next event, please stay tuned. And if you like today's discussion, please share with your friends that they can celebrate International Day of the Girl Child with us. Again, thank you for being today with